Hello, my name's David Richards. I am the director and manager of a company called the Dream Boys. And just 1 week ago, I finished my final treatment. So the hair loss I experienced was basically the top part of my head. So it was the back of the head and very much towards the front. So I still had plenty of hair on the sides, but I'd lost the top, unfortunately. And I think that's what a lot of men are suffering with lately. They kind of lose the whole top and the sides tend to stay. And unfortunately, to me, it aged me more. I went for basically a full over treatment on the top of my head because I was very bald in that area. So I had 3 treatments in total, and my final treatment was probably it was 10 days ago now, and the results are, as you can probably see for yourself, they're astronomical. I mean, it's a huge difference. So the treatments themselves, how would I describe this? They are painful, but they're not. You kind of, at first you realise, ouch, this hurts. And then after a while you kind of go, actually, I'm used to this now. It's not a pain that would make you go, stop, or I don't want to do this. But you know, it's not a pain-free procedure. But the little bit of pain that comes with it is 110% worth it. So results-wise, it was actually quite funny because not a lot of people kind of realised that I'd had it done. All I kept getting was, you look really different. You look very different. Have you had something done? You look younger, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of people kind of, they haven't quite, and until I've said to them, I've had my hair done. And then they start saying, oh, you had a hair transplant. Oh my God, blah, blah. No hair transplant. I said I had something much better than that. It gives you a different feeling, like you get out of the car and you kind of, it's almost like you've been given something back again, and you can't quite grasp what it is. Of course, you know, you've got, you know, your hair's now all done and stuff, but it's quite a euphoric feeling. It's very odd to be able to kind of, all of a sudden your fears or your sort of mentality state and mental mind changes from thinking, people are going to see me as a bald man, blah, 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 blah. And now people don't see you as a bald man. I had a big interview only a few days before this. And they said, oh, I love your hair. It looks really like cool. Like, who kind of touches it all up? And I said, it's not real. What? I said, it's not real. And they couldn't believe it. They would not believe that it wasn't real until I showed them on my phone the pictures of kind of my stages of having it done. They could not believe it. For me, there's a hair transplant is an absolute no-no. I've seen a lot of horror stories, heard a lot of bad things, and you have your hair transplant and a few years later it falls out again. So for anybody that's worried about hair loss and thinking, I want to, you know, I've had enough of my hair loss, I want to, because everybody always thinks hair transplant. For me, this is a lot more cost effective. It's a lot better long term. You're not going to be left with scars all on your head. For me, this is the only treatment that I would or did consider having done. And, you know, if you want hair, this is not going to be for you. If you want hair that you're going to be able to style and brush, of course this isn't for you. If you're more concerned about cosmetically having what looks like a full head of hair, this is 110% the way to go, because again, you know, any little bits or imperfections that you're not happy with, you can come straight into the clinic and they can put in any little bits that you want added in, taken out. With a hair transplant, that's it. Once you've got it, you're not going to be able to do, you know, there's no middle ground with a hair transplant for me. And this is what makes this such a great procedure, because you can, over time, if you decide you don't like your hairline, you can kind of have it erased and moved and changed. And, you know, it's for me an absolutely invaluable treatment. I can't put a price on this kind of treatment because it's worth its weight in gold.